Body protection, a safety meeting video about personal protective equipment brought to you by weeklysafety.com. Let's begin. Body protection is an essential part of staying safe in many work environments. When there is any chance of bodily injury that cannot be eliminated through other controls, the proper protective clothing becomes the final layer of defense. Whether the hazards involve heat, chemicals, sharp materials, or infectious substances, the goal is always the same, which is to prevent injury by shielding the body from contact with dangerous conditions. Job hazards. Many job tasks can expose the body to serious harm. These hazards may include temperature extremes, radiation, hot liquids, molten metal, blood or bodily fluids, welding sparks, sharp or heavy materials, or chemical splashes. In situations where workers may come into contact with these conditions, protective clothing must be worn to cover the areas at risk. Protective materials. Protective clothing is made from a variety of materials, each designed for particular hazards. Some garments are constructed from paper-like fibers for disposable suits that guard against dust or light chemical splashes. Treated wool and cotton are often used where temperature changes or rough surfaces are concerns, offering comfort as well as fire resistance and protection from abrasions. Duck, a tightly woven cotton fabric, provides strong resistance against cuts and bruises when handling heavy, sharp, or rough materials. Leather is commonly worn where dry heat or flames are present. For chemical protection, rubber, neoprene, rubberized fabrics, and various plastics help form a barrier against harmful substances. Choosing the correct material is critical because each fabric type serves a specific purpose based on the hazard. Clothing types. Body protection includes a wide range of clothing, and the right choice depends on the task. Examples of body protection include lab coats, jackets, aprons, coveralls, surgical gowns, leg coverings, arm coverings, and full-body suits. Body protection is never one size fits all. It is selected based on the specific hazards present and the degree of exposure likely to occur. When full body protection is required, it must fit properly and allow the worker to perform their tasks safely. Clothing that is too loose, too tight, or damaged can reduce protection and increase the risk of injury. Foot and leg protection. Workers exposed to falling or rolling objects, sharp materials, or crushing hazards need proper footwear and might also need additional leg protection. Leggings made from materials such as leather or aluminized rayon help guard the lower legs and feet from heat, sparks, and molten metal. These leggings often use safety snaps, so they can be removed quickly in an emergency. Combination foot and shin guards are available when greater protection is needed, and they may be paired with toe guards. All protective gear must be used correctly and consistently to prevent serious injuries to the feet and legs. Hand and arm protection. Some tasks call for added protection for the hands and arms. Gloves, finger guards, and elbow-length arm coverings may be required depending on the risk. These items help protect against cuts, burns, chemical contact, abrasions, and other injuries. Different tasks require different glove materials, so it is important to select the proper type for the job. Welding hazards. Welding activities present unique risks, including burns, sparks, spatter, electric shock, and radiation exposure. When welding, the skin must be fully covered to avoid UV radiation burns and damage caused by hot metal or flames. Welders are expected to wear protective clothing such as long-sleeved shirts made of heavy cotton or wool, heavy-duty pants without cuffs, and additional items like aprons, leggings, or protective sleeves depending on the work being performed. The clothing must be free of oil or grease, since these materials can ignite. All garments should fit well and overlap to prevent gaps where sparks or heat could make contact with the skin. Chemical and infectious materials. Some workplaces require body protection from chemicals, blood, or other potentially infectious materials. In these situations, protection may include gloves, gowns, aprons, lab coats, masks, or similar garments. The level of protection must match the anticipated exposure. If clothing becomes contaminated or penetrated, it must be removed as soon as possible to prevent further contact. Used garments must be kept in designated containers for cleaning, decontamination, or disposal. Workers must never take contaminated protective clothing home or wear it outside the work area. Hazard-specific protection. Certain materials, such as asbestos, require strict control. Workers exposed to airborne asbestos within regulated limits must wear protective clothing including coveralls, gloves, head coverings, and foot coverings. These garments must be inspected frequently, and damaged clothing should not be worn. Contaminated clothing must remain sealed during transport and must not be worn outside designated areas. Inspection and care. Protective clothing works only when it is maintained properly. Workers should inspect their body protection before each use, checking for holes, worn areas, or contamination. Damaged clothing must be replaced or repaired immediately. Protective gear should always be kept clean, stored appropriately, and used only for its intended purpose. When workers take responsibility for their own equipment and look out for unsafe conditions, they contribute to a safer environment for everyone. Quick recap. Body protection is essential for reducing the risk of injury in challenging work conditions. The right clothing helps guard against heat, chemicals, sharp materials, and other hazards. Thank you for attending this safety meeting. Stay protected and stay safe.